Hi folks, and welcome back to another Travels of Red Rover,
the Spooky Edition.
I'm Shawn.
And I'm Corinne.
And where are we tonight?
We're in Pioche, Nevada, and this is a favorite little ghost town in southern Nevada.
And we're here to shoot ghosty pictures.
Yes, we're members of a camera club in southern Utah, and our assignment for this month is to get something spooky, so we're working on that tonight.
But before we left for Pioche, we practiced in our backyard, and here's a little bit of that shoot. So Corinne and I have been getting set up to do a little bit of a Halloween shoot in our backyard. I should say Corinne has been getting set up. I've been busy editing videos all day. Well, she put together this really kind of cool little photo tableau. I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun to shoot tonight as it gets a little darker. We're even going to have a boiling cauldron of steam coming up and smoke coming up behind the skeletons. This is just our first little test. And it works pretty good. It's just right now, it's just staying right in the bucket. So we're going to have to figure out a way to make it come out of the bucket a little more. And while we're busy trying to create the perfect Halloween shot, the evening sky is coming in really intensely red. It's absolutely really pretty. And here are a few of the shots that we took that night. We sure hope they're spooky enough for you. Corinne and I are in Pioche tonight. We're doing some spooky pictures around this old cinema called the Gem Theater. And we're going to do some ghosty pictures, and we're going to do some funny light pictures. And this is going to be the first of a couple nights of shooting interesting evening shots. The Gem Theater and the adjoining Thompson Opera House are often favorite locations for us to shoot these kinds of photos.
We have this interesting building with an overhead porch here at the Thompson Opera House, and I've set up my tripod down here in the darker area. I set it on manual exposure, and I have ISO 100 and 6-second exposure at f/22, so I'm trying to make this as slow as possible. And then Shawn's going in my picture, and he's walking away from me at a slow pace so that over the 6-second exposure he gets blurred.
And now we're off to our next location, down the spooky extraterrestrial highway.
So Shawn, we're on the road again. Where are we headed?
Well, we're headed to Goldfield, but we're going to drive across the UFO highway, one of the loneliest roads in Nevada. Although today we seem to have a lot of company.
Yeah, this is called the Extraterrestrial Highway, and it runs east-west in Nevada. And we're headed toward Tonopah before we make a turn to go south to Goldfield.
Yep. It's a cool drive if you've never done it. It's definitely worth the effort.
Along the way, we pass Rachel, which is a location where they did some of the filming for the Independence Day video, I think, wasn't it? With Will Smith.
Will Smith, and also the movie, I think it's called Paul.
Right.
Which is a comedy that was done by Simon Pegg.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And that was a good one. That was a great movie.
So lots of movie history out on this road.
Yes, there is. Hi, folks. So Corinne and I have moved to a new location.
We're at Goldfield at the International Car Forest.
This is one of our favorite places to come and shoot because it's always changing.
But we prefer to do night shooting, and we are going to show you why.
Yes.
So looking down here, you will see there's quite a collection of cars that have been planted mostly nose down into the dirt. And they've been used as a canvas for people's artwork and tagging. And what we find is that the cluster of cars can be very cluttered in a photograph, and sometimes only selected cars have some good artwork. So at nighttime, we can use lights to focus in on one of the more interesting cars that we think has best artwork on it. And we'll show you that as we get going tonight. So here's one of the cars that we found that has kind of an interesting artwork. There's a little alien at top and maybe a kind of ghost character, and then a cat on the roof of the car. But some of the other ones tend to get just lots of tagging and words and less artwork. So we like to focus in on the ones that are a little more artistic. Even the underside of the vehicles can be a artist canvas for expression. We're down here looking at the truck bed of a pickup truck. The truck's been placed in the dirt with the tailgate section down, and this shows one of the better pieces of artwork that we're used to seeing in the International Car Forest. And unfortunately, a lot more of the recent work is more just bad graffiti and tagging and not so artistic. We're getting a very colorful sunset tonight, although we're down a bit of a valley here at the International Car Forest.
And here is the combination limousine sitting on top of an old milk truck that we decided to use for our location or backdrop for tonight's spooky shots. I'm just getting some pre-shots right now.
Well, we're working on one of our concepts for how to do a spooky view of the International Car Forest tonight, and it's a bit windy, so our prop is blowing in the wind here, but we'll see if we can do an exposure that'll work without looking blurred. Gonna need a little bit darker because that background through the second window is distracting, and we may want to be able to back up here and show more of the creepy eye looking painting on the door. Well, it's gotten a little darker, and Shawn is here helping to set up our props to make a little spooky vignette scenario on the side of this very colorful bus. And as you can see, really only the stuff that the light shines on is going to be obvious in our picture. So that removes a lot of the unwanted clutter and confusion in the picture. So hopefully we'll get something that looks sinister but colorful. So it's dark enough that on its own you can't see much of this bus or the car on top, but if I use a headlamp, we can focus the light on certain areas. And down here by the side door, we have our ghoul set up, and also we placed a spider crawling out of the window, which you can maybe see as I get closer. And we're using that as our props for our spooky Halloween picture.
So Corinne and I are back in the van. The wind was absolutely brutal tonight. Corinne's just put all our spiders and ghouls away, and we got the equipment put away. It was getting cold and unpleasant to shoot. Also, it was getting very difficult to get the props not to blow away, and that just makes shooting frustrating and difficult. But as usual, it's a lot of fun. If you've never done any going out at nighttime and using lights to light up interesting things, it's really worth the exercise. It'll also really help you learn to use your camera a lot better, because you're going to have to modify settings. You're going to have to play with your shooting speeds, your f-stop, and your ISO in order to get pictures to get exposed. So anyway, it was a good night. Here are some of the photos that we took. We hope you enjoy them. Good morning. Well, as you can tell, it's the next day, and Corinne and I are standing in front of our set from last night. So what did you think of the shoot, Corinne?
Well, it was a good location. I wish some of the paintings on the vehicles were better, but also I wish it was less windy.
Yeah, that was, it got windy, and then when the sun went down, it got cold and windy, and that's no fun to shoot in. So it was a bit of a struggle to keep the props in place and try to get shots off without having a lot of blur, although after a while we started using the blur to incorporate the blur into the shot, which made things kind of interesting.
Yeah, and I think next time I'd bring my own spray paint.
Yeah.
I can't do any worse than a lot of the other artists here.
Yeah, that's a good point. Unfortunately, This is probably the first time we've been here where there hasn't been an excellent artist that has painted the cars. Most of what's here right now are taggers, and that's just not as attractive in terms of having as a prop in the background as, you know, a beautiful painting on the car, or at least an interesting painting on the car. So anyway, well, I think we should bring this to an end. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up.
And if you'd like to see more of our videos, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. And we appreciate everyone who has subscribed so far.
And if you'd like to know when we release a video, hit that little bell button.
And we love your comments, questions, and thoughts, so share what you're thinking with us in the comment section down below. We'll respond really soon.
And until next time, bye for now.
Bye for now.